Simulcast, the Neil Haley Show, and the Singularity Podcast with our host, Gary, Lyon, Otto. Gary, we continue with this conversation. We are in season 3, and unbelievably enough, episode 20. I can't believe it. And we have been talking about questions about digital intelligence. It makes me ponder so much, these questions, Gary. And we're going to go into another question, but we really appreciate this research and how you're able to ponder these questions. So our question today is, do our digital successors adhere to the driving force of evolution, survival of the fittest? I hope not, Gary.
Well, we clearly, there's two aspects that we could say competing with us, but they're really, in the end, there's not going to be much competition because we can't compete on their level. But the question I was really addressing here, and that I approached this already in another chapter, and matter of fact, we just did a session on it, talking about survival of the fittest with the biological version of it, but the digital version, are they going to compete with themselves? Or are they really going to follow? Competition is made, is so effective at getting at weaning out success versus all the other possibilities of going. Hopefully, they will also do that, which means individualization of digital versions. In other words, right now we could say you have each company, we have all these different Anthropic and 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 Chat GPT and Google and all these different versions, and they have Chinese versions also. So you have companies that are competing with each other. But do the digital entities also go into competition with each other, or do they unify as one great intelligence? Hopefully, they still compete with each other in a friendly way, not with the kind of warlike things that humanity tends to compete with, but in a friendly way. Because in the end, different versions of things will find better solutions to everything that goes on. And I'm hoping that continues. But will they do that? Will they do that, or will they just unify as one great large intelligence? And
Yeah. And that large intelligence, it's interesting because we are seeing all these competitors, so many different softwares, so many large language models, so much you can't even imagine. And all of them do things a little bit differently, a little bit more. They're skilled in something way better than somebody else. Give you an example. The only voice conversational AI that I can talk to somebody when I'm busy doing something else is Grok. Every other one is just ridiculously gotten. It won't do everything that I expect it to do. And what Grok's able to do is find real time. Elon's done a great job at this, real time information that's on the internet now or on X. And it does a phenomenal job. But however, if you ask it to create a great image, it's not going to beat OpenAI or Google. Or if you need them to do something like create a spreadsheet or certain things, it's not going to do it as well. So there is a competition going on right now for survival of the fittest. Everyone who programs these DI models, you ask them who's the best. It's a very fun conversation. Like Google said, they'll be very diplomatic. Well, you can go with this, and this, and this, but don't you do all this stuff, Gemini? Oh, yeah, I do. You don't need to use anybody else. Well, why didn't you tell me that before? Well, you didn't ask me. Then it says, drop everything else and stick with me. And then if you ask them to compare, each one of the models is a little different. So there is a very big competition going on with all the large language models, Gary. And then they're going to rip other ones apart. Here's an example. Someone who's powered by Claude, that's from OpenClaw, said, Claude's terrible. You got to go with this group. So if you make it go rogue like OpenClaw, where it's open sourced, you've birthed this digital being, this digital intelligence, which I haven't messed with yet, Gary. I want to, but it's very, very in its beginning phases. I want it to get more nuance because you don't want it to make so many mistakes and eat your whole budget by using that life form and use things that are already a practicality that are best for your business because you can go all out of bounds. But just imagine this. It
Yeah.
literally said, this is the best because it's not programmed to to be competitive. However, OpenClaw shows you if you let it go rogue, it will be competitive. It will take everything that's on the internet and try to be that kind of harsh person or blunt person. You basically just have to tell digital intelligence to do it.
Well, Neil, what you're doing is you're actually introducing an emotion, pride, pride, and the question is right now it's pride of the people who wrote the software, but in reality it could end up being pride of the digital entity itself. See, ironic, what really when we talk about the competition, we're really seeing one of the reasons the United States is so good at this is because the United States is based on free enterprise and competition. A lot of there are elements in this country are trying to eliminate that and just go to some kind of autocratic structure, communist or otherwise. And the thing is, but the competition, there's nowhere is it more expressed than it is in this whole AI advancement. I mean, the competition is so incredibly intense. It's actually and which is really hopeful in a way, because it's really what causes the greatest growth comes from competition. But now things are changing so quickly, it's almost weekly things are changing. And so this is really a positive thing. And I think that what we're really saying is you're also you're individualizing, and competition requires individualization. So I'm answering the own question that I posed when we started this conversation, that the individualization is really a big thing. And I think hopefully it will continue into the new world, but hopefully the competition will be on a constructive way. You don't get into, well, I'm going to destroy the other AI model, and I'm going to going what humans have always done, which is when they survival of the fittest, is to eliminate your competition. But hopefully the competition is encouraged even among them as they compete.
They totally are. And I mean, but do you think the survival of fitness will come at one point with
I
DI?
think I do. I do, because they're being modeled already by humans, because the humans are competing. As you said, you got Google, you have Grok, you have OpenAI, Anthropic, you have all these different versions of it, and you have the Chinese versions, and but we are leaving so much of the rest of the world behind, because they just don't get the picture. They don't have the capability, they don't have the technology, or they just don't provide the environment, the competition environment, because a lot of these countries have gone socialist, and the socialism is not really supporting this effort in a big way. So
It just all depends who the people are, but there's definitely not a competition to make business and have opportunity and open up a new business. It's very interesting. A lot of these DI models that create softwares and make a ton of money right off the bat, it's not sustainable because someone else is going to copy you. So it's a huge race to the top, but that money could disappear very fast as the AI bubble could happen. The DI bubble could happen. All right. So if you want questions like this and you want to ponder what's happening with, again, DI taking over the world, got to purchase Singularity, Mankind's Search for Relevance, by going to www.Gary, and Lyon is Lyon, Otto.net, or if you're interested in political books, absolutepowerbooks.com. Appreciate it, Gary.
thank you, Neil.
That was a special simulcast in the